Good morning, everybody. It is 9:20, and we are still in the midst of our hop, and I am filling in. Here she is to save the day. I don't know about that, Beth, but I am here, and so due to circumstances not in my control, I am here, and fortunately, I was able to fill in for Meri because Meri does so much for all of us. So let me say hi to Beth and Cheryl and Miss Allie and Sylvia. Oh my gosh, your sea under the water sea, your intro was like big time movie. It was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, just beyond words. Everybody's has been great. Mrs. Gigi, I love seeing your diorama of literally where you live. That was so brilliant to do that. It was just a great idea. I pondered. Good morning, Mitzi. Good morning, Meri. And Arlene. Thank you for being here, as always. And I should have shot you an email last night when things changed, and I forgot, and I apologize for that. On the Erie Canal. Oh, okay. All right. Very nice. Got to watch out. Yes. Very good. Yeah, I guess they've restored parts of the Erie Canal that you can now take a barge boat ride. So anyway, I pondered and pondered, and through many blood, sweat, and tears, literally tears of frustration and blood, I literally cut the top of my knuckle off the other day, which is now healed. And this morning, this is how bright I am. I did the exact same thing on this finger using the same scissors. So, moral of the story, don't use big scissors because I obviously can't handle them. All right. As you can see, I have a collection of Winnie the Pooh. I am a huge Winnie the Pooh fan. I've grown up with him. In 1958, I do believe this book came out, and that's when I received it for Christmas. This is I have my original copy, but this is not it. I bought an additional copy. My original copy is literally falling apart. And then somebody put these together, which are they're wonderful. If you're a Pooh fan, they're little snippets from the book. Doubts and Disquiet for Warriors, and Piglet was, kind of that guy. And my Gloom and Doom, and Eeyore was the Gloom and Doom guy. And then Winnie the Pooh, Deep Thoughts and Ponderings for the Wise. And of course, you have to have your little smackerels for food lovers. And we know Winnie loved honey. So I decided to recreate or make a diorama of one of the scenes, one of the illustrations that are in the book, with a few minor changes here and there. Nothing too drastic. And what do you start out with? A cardboard box. Where's the cardboard box from? Amazon. Okay. So, let me see. This is going to be, well, that's not too bad. This is scrapbook paper that I bought that came in different, pieces of wood. And I cut the wood out in slats and laid it down like you would lay a wood floor. In Winnie's place or house or whatever, he's got kind of paneling along the side. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be laying down some paneling. Now, the other day, I cut my popsicle sticks and I stained them. So I would be able to glue them on without, hopefully, not too much issues. And what I used as a stain, and which I love, it's kind of like my new best friend when it comes to staining things, and aging tape and such is just brown. I tore the label off, but this is just brown shoe polish. And it's a great stain. And again, it makes, if you want to age some Scotch tape real quick, you just wipe this across. If you want to age a small piece of paper, this is my go-to stain now. So I'm going to glue these down and chat away. This should be pretty much, hopefully, mindless, and I can read the chat a little bit. Hi, Aunt Beck. We had the craft room open yesterday, and we had another wonderful visit. And we get so much help from one another. At least I do, because you can ask people immediately, what do they think, and they're there to give their honest, solicited opinions and such. And I've been working on a journal. I was asked by Shelley, Crafting Mom, a while ago, whether I would be willing to make a journal for the December Defy auction. And I said, sure, without really thinking. How many times have we done that? At least me. And then I thought I made like a journal out of junk mail. The card things that you get in the mail. They're those stiff cards that advertise things. I put a whole one together, stitch it together, and then basically what I created was a junk journal that could be used as a glue book. And I thought it would be really neat if I would include 100 or so pictures out of the various magazines that I get. And I cut out all the pictures, and they're all different sizes and colors and subject matter. And I figured that it would kind of be like a glue book kit. And it would have the junk journal, and it would also have the pictures. And I've already screwed up. So no, I did. I have to put the wallpaper up first. So let me do that before I go any further. See, I'll be fine. It's all good. It's all good. All right. This is the wallpaper, and you got a little bit of glare. This has to go up first, and I can make that work. I will make it work. Sorry about that, folks. I got so busy, so excited seeing everybody here. Running my mouth off, not paying attention. That old, I used to get that a lot, from my father all the time. And he had a deep voice. And you have to pay attention. Those were his words. Mostly to me is pay attention. And I always thought I was paying attention. But as a kid, really, attention spans are questionable, right? Very questionable whether you are paying attention. This was a little paper pack that I got. It just happened to be the right color. Well, I guess you can't see that. And it was one of those things, you buy those paper packs and you think, okay, now I have this paper pack. And this paper pack was really unremarkable. And it's this kind of bluish stuff, but it kind of looks like plaster. So that kind of worked out well for this. And I found it in the back of one of the paper drawers. And I said, well, whoa. And this is not really sticking that well. So I might have to get out. And I am going to get out. I'm not going to fight with this. I'm not fighting with you. I know what I'll get out. I wrote left. And why did I write left on the side that's going to face me? Oh, Lordy, oh, Lordy, oh, Lordy, oh, Lordy. All right. Okay. So this is going to be, all right. I think I'm going to use Mary's trick. I'm going to use the double-sided tape. So anybody working on stuff? Oh, well, I would finish that. I finished that journal, and then I went back and I read the Defy description of what December's thing was supposed to be for them, and it said that they wanted finished journals because the last month were kits. Well, I didn't know that, so now I figured, well, then I guess I can't hand in my thing, I can't hand in my junk mail kit if they want finished journals. So then I figured I would start all over again. So I made a more traditional junk journal. And now I am in the process of embellishing it. I'm not a great embellisher. It's so true. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I pay attention. Now I have to give my father credit. When he said that the most, to his credit, he was a very patient man on most occasions. And when he said that to me, and you have to pay attention, was usually after a car accident. That was my fault because I hadn't been paying attention. So the poor man, I can't fault him for that. I really can't, because I was not paying attention. I'd only had my license for a week, I think. And I had my first car accident. Yes. It wasn't a bad one. It was the fender bender. And the guy kept on going. And I put a little thing in my car that was a hand-me-down from my dad. It was now it's a collector's. Now it's a classic. It's a collector's item. It was a 1959 Common Ghia made by Volkswagen. My dad had bought it over at the factory in Germany because he worked for a cargo airline. And it was a little convertible. And it was stick shift. So I had to learn how to drive a stick right off the bat. But I had a very patient boyfriend at the time. And he's the one that taught me how to drive a stick. And then I drove a stick for the rest of my life. Trunk, yeah. Well, all Volkswagens have trunks in the front, yeah. And they're air cooled. There's no oil in them. They're air cooled. I guess it's oil in them, but they're air cooled. And I had some wise ass mechanic asked me once. I was getting gas, and he asked me whether he wanted me to what did he ask me? Check the oil or something like that. And I said, "There's no oil. There's no oil. There's no." Oh, he wanted me to ask me if he wanted me to check the radiator or the water in the radiator. I said, "No. This engine is air cooled, and it's in the back." Now this was a little tiny engine. The engine was a 35 horsepower engine. I mean, that is tiny. And it didn't have a gas gauge. It had a little lever, right? And you just kind of had to pay attention, And when you got down, when you basically ran out of gas and you were chugging, there was a little lever that you kicked over with your foot, and that gave you another gallon of gas. So you had to, pretty much know how much miles you would get per gallon. But there was no gas gauge. It was just a little needle on the dashboard. And it was 4 on the floor, standard trip. It had no back seat. It was like a true little sports car. It had no back seat. And but it was a neat little car. And let me stick this in here, please. Well, I'll stick this over here, and then I'll face that problem in a minute. Let me just take a second here and take a quick, you missed your stick, yeah. Well, after that, I didn't buy my first automatic car until I moved down here to Florida. Every car after that was all manual. And I'm kind of like the kids would call me, gearhead. I mean, I really love cars, but my favorite of all time was Mazda Miata. Now, that is what I would call that a poor man's sports car, but it's a true sports car because it doesn't have a back seat. It's got a little bench, and it has a trunk that is so tiny that you could not get a set of golf clubs in the trunk. So it's useless other than just to drive around in, because it's so much fun to drive. And it had 5 on the floor. And I had 2 of them. And now the first one I had was a cloth top convertible. The second one I had was a hard top convertible, but it had the retractable top. Hit a button and the top went down and it folded into its own boot in the back of the trunk area. That was so much fun. It even had that, if you know anything about sports car, it even had that little kind of rumble, that's, that little kind of sports car engine rumble. Now, I had both of these cars in Florida, and it was great. However, there are no curvy roads really in Florida, or hills, so the driving's flat and boring. So that was, you wouldn't want to drive it in upstate New York, because you wouldn't be able to drive it in the wintertime, because you'd be skidding all over the road. It would be very dangerous vehicle to drive in snow. But I love those cars. And the reason why I got rid of them was my knees. I couldn't get in and out of them. After I had both knees done, and it was low to the ground. I mean, it was maybe 6 inches off the road. So you knew you were driving. And that's why I like driving stick. Kind of gives you the feel of the road. It really does. It's kind of like, that's why I like writing with fountain pens. It's because when you're writing with a fountain pen, you really have a sense of the paper. You really feel the paper. And just like the stick shift, you are, whoops. Oh boy. Well, this is okay. We can just start all over. I'm just so glad that I discovered this now and not later, right? If you're going to screw up, do it in the beginning. That's when you screw up. You do it in the beginning, not at the end. Because in the end, then it's the end. All right. Well, thank you guys for being so patient. Let's see. I'm reading chat. Is Ann coming on again? Yes. You people, you don't know how lucky you are. You're going to get a double dose of me. I know. Be still my heart. And, okay. And I figured when Mary found we had a little jam up here, I figured the way I had this thing set up that I could, do it in 2 parts. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see, and some of you have seen it. I made a stuffed chair that Winnie sits in, and that was a lot of fun to make. I mean, well, I shouldn't say fun. It was a challenge to make, and but I made it, and he's got a little chair that he's sitting in. It's not the same chair as that is in the illustration in the book, but I just wanted to make I think it's called a Queen Anne's chair. So that's what Winnie is sitting in. And I am not using the Winnie the Pooh because it's Disney's Winnie the Pooh. And let me just tell you, don't get me started. I can't stand what Disney has done to Winnie the Pooh. I cannot stand it. I understand that, the kids sold Winnie and the rights to Winnie for about $30 million to Disney. And that was a sad day for purists in the Winnie the Pooh world. And they fattened him up, and they just changed him. So I am a real fan of the original Winnie the Pooh. The teddy bear that's in the stuffed chair is a stuffed bear. I think I've talked about him before. My friend of mine and I, we played with teddies. We didn't play with dolls. We played with these little teddy bears, and we made houses for them and furniture for them. Nothing like that stuffed chair, believe me. Nothing like that at all. Look at this. Is this not? And this must be boring, so I apologize. But so I used my teddy, and instead of the Disney teddy, I did go out and I did buy some teddy characters on Amazon, and they don't look anything like the original illustrator. His name was Shepherd. E.H. Shepherd was the original illustrator. And but again, I said I got this book for Christmas, and my friend and I got it for Christmas. And it came out in 57 or 58. So we were 8 or 9, maybe. And yeah, poor Pooh Bear, yes. And we literally would read the book out. I mean, how many kids do this today? Maybe they do, but Nancy and I, her name is Nancy, we would literally take turns reading the book out loud to one another. And we would laugh our asses off. Oh, there were scenes there that we would just start giggling and laughing. I think one of the funniest scenes for me even today is, if you're familiar with Pooh Bear, is when they decide, it's Eeyore's birthday, and they're going to celebrate Eeyore's birthday, and Piglet gets him a balloon, and Piglet is so excited that he has a balloon, and he's running, through the woods down to Eeyore's place, and he falls on the balloon, and he pops the balloon. So now all he has is a piece of broken balloon. But he figures, oh, well, maybe he can do something with it. And of course, Pooh was going to give Eeyore a pot of honey. Of course, right? Because that's who Pooh is. But he cannot resist eating the honey. He can't. It's just too much for him. So he just says to himself, well, I'll just have a little taste. And that's all. I need to test. I have to make sure the honey is good. So I'll just take a little smack, a little snibble of honey. And then he said, oh, that was good. I really need to take another taste. And another taste. And before you know it, the honey pot is empty. Oh, that's good, Ann. Nothing like putting the glue on the wrong side. That's okay. This side will be sticky. So they go anywhere. And Eeyore, and what are we doing? How are we doing on time? I have, 5 more minutes? Let me see. I should know. Anybody? Mary, how much time do I have? Is it 9:40? Is it 8:40? Have I gone? Anybody? Time? Nobody? Can anybody tell me how much time I have left, please? 8:50. Okay, I'll get 6 minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. I should have known that. I've looked at it enough today. So anyway, they go down. Eeyore lives in the swampy area of the 100-acre woods, and that's the other thing. That was another thought for a diorama. I was going to do the 100-acre woods, and then after much discussion amongst my crafting buddies, we decided that I would do this. So they go down to and they find Eeyore, and he says, Eeyore, if you know, he's very pessimistic. Eeyore, the glass is always half empty. That's Eeyore's life. He's a half empty kind of guy. All right, so look at that beautiful wainscoting. Not wainscoting, paneling. I saw there were some questions. Yeah, I know they've made some movies. What is your cat's name, Anne? Okay. I've got 2 cats. Oh, but it's not Tigger. It's Tiger. One's Tiger, and the other one is Lily. So I've got Tiger Lily, and they're looking at me now. And if anybody knows what it's like with those cats, as soon as I say their name, they think they're going to be fed. We have this problem with them when we're having these live craft chats. They are meowing, wanting to be fed, and I don't like to feed them before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I don't know why. I mean, they're cats. What difference does it make when I feed them? It's stupid on my part, but I used to feed them at 5:30, and now they've worked me all the way back to 2 o'clock. I don't know whether you can see what I'm doing, but you know what I'm doing, so I don't know whether it's necessary that you actually see what I'm doing. I'm laying, and I could have done this a lot. I could just do this, right? This stuff is stinky, but boy, it is good stuff. I've been following the paper outpost. Her name is Pam, and this is pretty much all she uses. So that's how I got hooked on this stuff. I guess I could get hooked on the fumes too. Woo, it is a little fumey. I don't usually, but I have all the windows open. That's another thing, folks. I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to have the windows open in my house and have no AC on. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I wait 6 months out of the year to get to that point where there's no AC, and there's 6 months where you have to have AC. So, all right, look at this. Isn't that coming along? Oh, wait until you see the other stuff too. And we good? I think we're good. Let me stick this here. Maybe I'll just do this. This is an awkward. Yeah. Okay, we can go like so. All right. And we're getting there. All right, I'm just going to smear this. Yeah, my webcam is kind of primitive. I mean, it gets the job done, but I didn't know, how much I would do this, how much I would make videos. And as you know, I haven't made that many, and I didn't want to invest a lot of money, which I didn't, but I'm almost thinking of it's time to upgrade. I think most of you guys have Logitechs, right? Logitechs. Thank you, Allie. It is kind of fun. Now you'll see in part 2, I've made pottery. Yes, I have. I've made wee little honey pots out of dry air modeling clay that I bought. I bought 2 pounds of it. I have a lot of it left over, so if anybody wants some. And I've got little honey pots that I've made. I made a cookie jar. I've made a table with a checkered tablecloth. I've made a a lamp, a floor lamp. I have a framed baby picture of Pooh that goes on the wall. I have the cupboard where the honey pots go on the wall. And I made a little shirt that Winnie is drying in his living room. So, and look at that. Do you see the time, Mary? Could that be any better? I'm done. And so here's what we got done this morning. Whoops. All right. It will turn really cold soon. Yeah, not here. I'm in Florida, Cheryl. It never gets really cold here. So, but I mean, cold here, really, really cold here is like 40. And that may last for like a day or two. Okay. Oh, you are going to open it? Oh, I will be opening Mary's room shortly. Okay. Well, thank you guys, and thanks for the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, man, I would love that. That would be so cool. Okay. Take care, and I'll see you later tonight. And happy hopping. And thanks again, Mary, and thanks for everybody who came in and watched me glue sticks. Bye.